All right, perfect. You hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So, yeah, this morning for the FFL Medicare morning broadcast, I got a special guest, Shawn Meaike, President and CEO of FFL itself. So, Shawn, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah. So, I know back in, what was it, I guess October, November, you asked me to take this on. And, since then we've gotten partnerships with 11 different Medicare supplement carriers, 4 different Medicare Advantage carriers. And we're about to put in place some ACA carriers as well for the under 65 market. But, I guess the one question I would want to ask is why did you ask me to do this? And what are you excited about for Medicare for Family First Life?
Well, first of all, Eric, I appreciate you for having me on. I appreciate everybody for watching today. As far as why I asked you, we were in this place, Eric, once we merged and partnered with Integrity, we literally had access to everything. And, prior to Integrity, if you had asked me about cross-selling and multiple products and sub-products and med-sup and, Medicare Advantage, if you'd asked me about that, I would have said, this is my world. Like, I know the life insurance world. I know the simplified issue life insurance world. But it seemed real foolish for us not to take advantage of the full platform, right? I'm a bread and butter, mortgage, final expense, simplified issue, lead-based. I'm your guy, right? But, Eric, when you and I talked about it, first of all, you have this in your background. You understood sub-products. You understood a myriad of products. You enjoy that information. You enjoy diving into something, not me. I go, give it to me. I want to know how to do it in 2 seconds. Give me some clients. I'll sell it. You really took on this whole role and said, man, I've already been looking into this thing. I'll learn these products in and out, and I'll help run this thing and spearhead it for the company. So for me, it was actually a really easy decision. Everybody I talked to was like, yeah, he's ridiculously focused, organized, and actually you want to see people win. I think that's the other thing. Like, you understand for the agents, we want to offer everything we can. So, a guy called me the other day, and he's like, hey, man, other people are calling me offering these products. We already have them here. Why would they do that? I go, because here's the way it works when you're as big as we are. Everybody that can't sell anything goes, the only way to recruit is to try to recruit people from there. But the problem is, what we offer is financially better than what they put together, right? It's better in so many different ways that for us, why would we ever want you to have to seek it outside of here? We have Integrity, which means we have access to everything. So at Eric, man, I think it was maybe 2-3 days, and some of the folks that I connected you with at Integrity, I'm like, hey, talk to this guy. They're literally calling me. This is why I knew I had the right person. They're calling me on a Saturday, and they're like, hey, man, this guy is like calling us on a Saturday. This Hamadi guy is like, yeah, that's the way. They're like, so do you want us to get back to him today? Like, wait till Monday. I'm like, no, we're not a wait till Monday kind of crew. Like, we're a 7-day-a-week kind of crew. If it ain't Christmas or Easter, bro, like, you better get moving. Like, that was always how we felt. Those were our two, right? And I believe what everybody believes, and I celebrate. I respect what you celebrate. But, like, we were working like crazy hard. So I was like, man, he's so excited about it. So I'm just excited. We talked the other day. I said, hey, man, what do you know about ACA? You're like, that's funny. They just talked to me about it, man. I'm excited to launch it. I'm excited to release it. I'm excited to educate people on it. And that's why this is part of our weekly deal here now. The med-sup, the supplemental products that we got with our buddy Ron. And I just think you came here, Eric, with so much knowledge. Why would we not access that? So guys, we want Family First Life to be a one-stop shop. We want you to be able to get access to everything that you can. If you come in here and go, man, that's my background. And Eric, I think you're already finding that. Guys and girls that have lived this med-sup, Med Advantage world who are coming over going, hey, man, I love what you have to offer. And here's the other thing. If you're looking to become an Integrity partner, yeah, we have 24 of them already. And the guy asked me today, goes, I'm looking at these other options, and if I went over here, what do you think? I go, you can go over there if you want. I'm fine with it. That's your decision. You're an independent person. You haven't even gotten started yet. But if you come here, we have proven to you. It's like you go to the University of Alabama to play football. You go to win national championships. Yeah, that's fun to win national championships, believe me. You go because you want to get paid to play the game. You go because you want to go, because you can actually not be a starter there because they're that good and still get drafted in the National Football League. You go there to monetize your skill set. And that's what we want here, Eric. We want people to be able to say, hey, you want a hybrid business, med-sup, life, You come from med sup background, you want to do that, life, whatever it is, we didn't want to let the agents down. We didn't. And we knew that their book of business here would be their book of business. We knew that they had the opportunity to do what they want to do. And here's the other thing I knew, and this is what I'm learning this. Guys are like, well, what contract do we have to sign with you? And I'm like, you have a deal with the carrier as far as the release, but no contract to sign with us. And I'm starting to learn on this side of the market, too. That's an anomaly. They're like, well, that means I can, yeah, dude, you can, this is your business. Like, you own 100% of it. If Integrity comes knocking on the door in 24 months and they look at your book, it is your book. I have literally no contractual relationship with you. We just want to treat you right. So I think, Eric, your mindset, your knowledge base, what you're looking at, you're learning the lead side, you're learning the distribution side, the product side. And I think, honestly, I was talking to some of the guys from Integrity, and they said, man, Eric knows this as well as most people we've worked with for a long time. So you really dove in and educated yourself. And I think, I don't know that everybody would have put that time into it, And so that's why I had asked you. That's why I wanted to do it for the agents. And I think we tried a soft launch probably, 2019 probably. But, Eric, we really didn't have anybody spearheading it. We had a couple agents, and that was fine, doing some med sup, med advantage. They weren't mad. We got them contracts. We have ridiculously good contracts, right, Eric? Like, we're going to give you very aggressive contracts like we do in a life side. But we really didn't have a plan. It was more like, we have these products. If you want to go ahead and access them, you can. And then what happened, I was talking to a guy today. I'm not going to say his name because I don't know that he wants me to. But he left here 5 years ago. And I said, why did you leave 5 years ago? Like, I like the guy. He actually called me to say, hey, somebody said I'm recruiting some agents. It was the second phone call I got. He goes, I'm not recruiting any agents that work there. I'm like, I didn't think you were. We're all independent. But I said, again, why'd you leave? He goes, man, I'm thinking about coming back. I only left because nobody there was doing med sup, med advantage, and I really wanted to go to a place that was doing that. And I just didn't know if you guys were ever going to get involved in that business. He's like, but if you asked me if I wish I had stayed, yeah, because if I had built this with you guys here, I'd be doing an Integrity deal now. And he said, where I'm at, I have no path to do an Integrity deal. There's no way to monetize it. The people that own the company are not going to buy it from me. They're not looking to. I'm really kind of just stuck. And here's my book. I got to figure out what I can do and what I can't do. So I didn't want to put good people in that position either. I think we've done a good job disrupting the market, and I want to continue to do that. We've done a really good job on the life side of doing that, and I'm proud of that. It's funny. I was airplane the other day, and the pilot was telling me about how he got his insurance license 25 years ago. And I said, he told me who he got it with. And I said, what was that like? He goes, after the sizzle was over, I realized I couldn't make any money. And he said, what contract level do you start your guys out at on the life side? I said, 100%. And he goes, man, things have changed. I started at 35. I said, they haven't changed, though. There's still a bunch of companies starting you at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. We just want to disrupt the market. And he's like, well, if I had met you guys and what you're doing, I wouldn't be a pilot. I kept selling life insurance, making a bunch of money. He's like, I'm flying you. And I'm like, I was doing this 25 years ago. And, so, Eric, we just wanted to make sure that Fame of First Life literally was diverse enough to offer everything that was out there. We do feel good about our work ethic and our training ability. We also feel good about our compassion and empathy for the agent and putting him or her in a position to win. And I think you share all of that. So that's my vision for where we're going. I'm along for the ride, so I mean, like, I trust you, what you're doing, what you guys are doing. I'm just here to support. Those that can't micromanage, I can manage. I'm not a micromanager. And I'm just excited about what we got going on here and what it's going to turn into and what this weekly will turn into and what some of the trainings we'll have. And I envision an annual convention where we're doing another day there that's these products with another 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000 people in. And they join us for the general session. They don't. That's completely up to them. But I know how we treat people, and I want everybody to have the Family First Life experience.
That's awesome. One of the things you were saying, it reminded me of a conversation I was having today, actually, with this guy who's wanting to bring his group over from another Medicare IMO, and he's licensed only agent to them, so the carriers pay the brokerage and the brokerage pays him, so he's not in control of that. And then he's got this contract that doesn't allow him to, once he decides he wants to leave, he's got to have 7 months, basically can't touch anything for 7 months. And he's like, so how are you guys setting yours up? I just want to know what I'm getting into. And I'm like, dude, we're not doing any of that. Like, you're going to get contracted directly to the carriers, get paid by the carriers, and you're an independent agent. And, and I think it's like I had this, like, it's literally like a career cul-de-sac people take. They go to these IMOs or FMOs that lock them down and put them in this situation where they're putting all their money in this piggy bank that they think is their retirement. It's I have all these renewals, and what they don't realize is that they can't leave because they know that the company is going to just take that from them. It's not real. And it's so refreshing the way that we have this set up on the life side, and I'm so glad we can transition it over to the Medicare side too, because it's not that it doesn't exist. It's just very, very rare out there. And I'm proud that we're one of the couple that I've heard of that does it this way, So thank you. I mean, because that's all about your mindset, of doing it that way.
And Eric, I think for me, I lived that life, man. I built a pretty big business for 7 years, and I didn't keep any of my renewals. And what I realized is if I didn't do certain things, like if I didn't go do what, like they weren't my renewals. And then when I finally read the contract, because I didn't read it when I signed it, right? Like, give me some leads, I'll sign it, it's 27 pages. When I finally read it, I thought, damn, like, I don't own anything. Like, I kind of thought, how deep do I want to get into this, right? I'm now 6 years in, give or take, but how much deeper do I want to get? Because that 16, 17, 18 years is going to be a lot harder to turn that. So I think, it's funny because people said to me, what did you leave with monetarily? I said nothing, but I knew that I could rebuild this thing and it would be mine. And then we wanted to create that for everybody else. See, what blows my mind in this business, and I think it happens in all ends, both life, med stuff, is these companies are all spawned off of, right? They work at a company, they break off and launch a company. But what's weird is the things they didn't like and they complained about, they actually recreate them. And the reality was they didn't have a problem with those things. They had the problem that they weren't at the top. It wasn't them. Yeah. And that's how they recruited people, And that when we started, I'll never forget talking to a lot of these guys early on, Mike Killamet and Mark Mead and Frank Euphemia and Paul and Andrew. I was like, dude, let me explain this. Everything we hate, we're never going to do. And if I ever do any of those things, quit. I'm a big peer pressure guy. We started the company. I had been sober 13 years. I felt pretty good about being sober, Eric. It was 13 years in. I'm now 21, come up on 22 years. But I said to everybody one day, one guy asked me something. I said, dude, if I start drinking again, quit the company. And I'm a big peer pressure guy. I was like, and I really wasn't thinking day to day about drinking, but I was like, you know what? That'll help keep me sober too. I'm not playing with y'all. And they would laugh and joke. But it was like, it was the same way. If I ever start saying that we're going to have a contract, going to lock you up, that we own this, that we own your business, if any of those things start to happen, dude, quit. And we never did that. That's the thing I'm the proudest of is the things we launched the company on day one are the ones that we've remained. And that's been a struggle at times. We're big on humility. And I just am. I just, humble and hungry is, like, that's easy to me. I'm starving all the time, literally and figuratively. Like, I'm ready to go all the time. I'm paying attention. I want to stay hungry and stay driven and have an edge. But also staying humble. This business is amazing, and it's amazing for every single man and woman that starts here. From the person that writes their first life or MedSup, Med Advantage app today, supplemental app, whatever they did, to the person that's been doing this for 15 years and has a team of 2,000. Everybody's equally important, and everybody can achieve. And I think that's one of the things I'm really proud of is we do a really good job of it's like I always joke. Remember that game Whack-A-Mole where the thing pops up and you hit it?
Totally. Yeah.
That's kind of my job when people get egotistical. Like, whoa! Like, it's like, because ego will erode everything. And once you start thinking it doesn't require any talent. If it did, that would be different. But to do what we're doing here today, it doesn't. And it just requires a good heart, work ethic, and a great attitude. And I think so Eric, I can hear that guy as he's talking to you because I was that guy. You were that guy, And when you're that guy and then you're looking at your kids, and I remember somebody said to me one day, man, it must be so great to be independent. And I was at my son's basketball game, and I remember thinking, like, this is when I was thinking about quitting. And I'm like, I'm not independent though. Like I'm under contract, and I'm going to break that contract, which I did. I mean, at every page there was, but I feel like, dude, I'm not independent. Like, I'm telling my kids I'm an independent contractor. I'm telling my friends I'm an independent contractor. But when I left that company, I didn't get $1 in renewals, not $1. And I was doing, man, I probably did in 6 years, I don't know, roughly 45 million paid.
Wow.
Actually more than that, probably 65 million paid, not $1 in renewals came out of that. But I'd done that all over again because we created this, we created something special. So why not do that in the med sup side too? In the med, if it's a big industry, like why not? I mean, you look at the baby boomers,
Yep.
look at the market, look where it's going. I mean, look what people are being able to create for themselves. So I think, it's no different than doing the advanced market side. We have a lot of folks that just come over now that never did, that are like, hey, man, I've been doing this for years. I love what you guys bring to the table, and I own my own deal here.
Yeah.
And
well, I think
Well,
I think one of the things that I'm most excited about is, the same way that advanced markets, what Ruggiero's done with that division, and just like how offering those products, it's not like it gobbles up your business. It helps you sell more life insurance, because you get to more kitchen tables with more things to talk about. And with Medicare, 10,000 people every day turn 65, and they will every day for the next 13 years. Which is mind-boggling statistic. Mind-boggling. And life insurance is that's the game here. Like that's my game. That's, I think, every other agency builder's game here. But it's so nice to be able to take a need to have product like Medicare, which you're federally mandated, you have to sign up for when you're 65. Like you have to, you get penalized if you don't. And to have access to that product, be knowledgeable about it, be able to talk to people about it, serve them, and then be able to cross-sell all these life products too that are the nice to have, but also the real difference makers in terms of the difference it makes for the family, the difference it makes for our. But sometimes, like the life insurance, it's like this. You have to help people see. You have to really connect on an emotional level, which those of us that are good at that, we move a lot of product, and those that aren't, may struggle a little bit to learn that. With Medicare, you don't have to do that because they already know what it is. They know they need it. They just need somebody knowledgeable to guide them. And so I think it's just a great way to build credibility and structure for all the agents, So I'm fired up about it. I can't wait to get it really in the air. So.
Well, I think we are. I think that's a big part of it, is us just accepting it. This is the first time, Eric, in our 8 years and change that we've said, you know what, this is what we do, and it's who we are, and we're going to really embrace this thing, and I think we're going to have the training platform that's going to be equal or better than anybody else's. I think we're going to have a plug-and-play system equal to better than anybody else's. We got the backing of integrity, so we sure as heck got whatever we need contractually, so we're good as far as them with the carrier products they have and us having access to those. And I think the kicker is, I mean, you're straight up independent, man. And I think a lot of folks they're looking for that nowadays, especially because, what tough times teach us is we learn a lot about companies we work for in tough times, right? Because when times are good, people don't even know what day it is, right? People come and go. They're making bonuses. Everything's happening. This guy's got time off. He asked for that, because it's really good times. But when things start to turn a little bit, you're learning that's the nice thing about us. We've not altered any of those things. Like, you own what you own. Life is good. Let's just keep doing this. And I think, a lot of folks have called us, and I'm sure plenty have called you on this side of this, because things have changed for them a little bit, right? They're there for 8, 10, 12 years, and they've had a really good run. And now it's like, wait a minute, now we're going to do this different, and you have to sign this. And I told the guy the other day, he said to me, I said, what's your biggest issue? He said, every time I'm promoted, I sign a new document. And every time I'm promoted, I literally, and if you can relate to that, Eric, because I've been there,
oh, yeah.
It's like every time I get promoted, I'm so torn because I'm excited to be promoted for a minute until I realize I own less of my business. The higher I get and the bigger I get in the company, less control I have of my own entity. And that makes me nervous. And I was like, man, I never thought about that. Like when I became an agency manager, I signed a contract. When I became a board member, we had all these contracts I had to sign. And really it was agreeing to things that I didn't have to do before because they thought I had some money. And then really basically saying I didn't have any rights to do anything. So at FFL, grow it as big and bad as you want. We'll help you get in front of Integrity if you want to do a deal with them. You want to just keep building it forever and have at it. That's your prerogative. Eric's a wealth of information. He knows these products and he's learning every day about as well as anybody does. And Eric, you got my full support. We've always kind of said mortgage final expense, yes, advanced markets over here. But I'm like, we've done that really well with Ruggiero. Why can't we do that really well here? This is who we are. It's where we live. But why can't we make sure that we have a lot of people that join us that go, hey, I do IULs and annuities. Now, some of them start selling mortgage final expense and build a business and build an agency. Some go, I'm just going to stay over here and make X amount of dollars selling, IULs and FIAs. Cool. Like, we're not mad either way. Like, have at it. And I think we're going to have a lot of that, too. We just want people to know that whatever they choose to do and however they choose to do it, there's a home for them at FFL.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for having me on your team, and thank you for being on my show.
Hey, thank you for having me on your show, man. I'm really excited. I hope I make it back.
Yep, for sure. Thanks, Shawn.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.